about Industry 5. That is opportune considering the entry of AI into the market and the potential for AI to sideline the human in the human, if you know what I mean.
People very often think they know what AI is, and a lot of them do. But I often say to people, imagine that everything you use in your hand, every single thing you use to connect, any system you use to connect, that's called pervasive technology. So you are using anything to connect to the internet. So we'll say we got 5G. Everything that you connect to that's hidden, that you can't see, that's gathering all the information on you, that's building up a profile on you, a digital virtual profile, that's called ubiquity or ubiquitous. AI is the mother of all ubiquity because AI is based on machine learning, and indeed we'll go deep learning. It is an algorithm of a combination of algorithms that gathers together what the human agenda that designed it asks it to gather. So therefore AI has the capacity to make the most incredibly beautiful, wonderful, disruptive differences in society globally right now to change everything and make it more equal and equitable, or it has the capacity to be your worst nightmare.
But it is up to the human.
It's up to how you connect and how you connect. Because I would say this, Teresa, if I said to you, go into a shop right now, go in without any of your clothes on and pick up the little microphone and say, hello, dear shoppers, this is Teresa Mary Han Campbell talking to you here. Now imagine that microphone was connected to a mast outside that's connected to the local radio, to the global radio, and out into the universe. Now imagine that you were saying what you thought was inside a little shop on your own is now being transmitted all over the world, and everything you're saying is being analyzed and being put together with everything you've ever done by the text you've sent, by the Facebook posts you've made, by the Twitters, by the website you visited, and all of this putting together. Would you do that with any other human being you don't know and reveal, for example, your bank account details, your personal details, your address, your home, your inner thoughts? Would you do that with a stranger if you met them on the street that you never knew?
And that brings me to the point, we really need to teach our young from the get-go what is private, what must remain private, and what is public. So what are our plans in this regard for the future to protect our young, to protect us all?
Again, to most, we'll take it to most people in the world, this is just a phone. And all it does is make phone calls and send texts. I mean, how many people out there right now listening have sent a note or sent an email or said something on the phone, and then 10 minutes later they get a little ad saying, oh my God, oh, that phone's listening to me. And people are going into Alexa or Googling and saying, and all of a sudden you get these ads coming in because the AI is building that profile. I call it AI literacy, Teresa. AI literacy is basically no longer just reading and writing. It's knowing what literacy is, teaching people what is literacy. Now, in Europe, the Digital Education, I suppose, Action Plan, DEAP, has been launched from 2021, 2027. And indeed, Action 8 on that plan is all about AI, the skills of AI developing. There are many European projects coming along on that will actually be on AI literacy through various things that we can use to make us more literate. And in Ireland, indeed, over Easter 2021, the Minister of Education launched a new digital strategy, which is a consultation process, which is to build upon the existing digital framework, DFA, digital learning, DLF, digital learning framework. But again, I come back to Dublin West. Dublin West Education Centre has been validating schools and digital schools of distinction for many years, helping them to understand this process. But for 2 years, they have waited for funding from the department in something that is vital, which is enabling and empowering schools to self-reflect on this literacy of 21st century technology. So Europe has the DEAP 21-27. It's the only game in town. Ireland at the same time, even though Europe has launched this, is now going into a consultation, but not on the DEAP, on the digital learning strategy, which I hope will include the DEAP and beyond, because we're now at the greatest time of what I have talked to you about, yin and yang. Education, literacy, technology right now does not have a soul, an empathic connection, a reflective human capacity to be creative. Technology right now is yes, no, up, down, in, out, gather the information, I have this, I don't understand it. Unless we get our act together, this will be either your best friend or your worst nightmare. And right now, because we don't understand this capacity, I believe it's falling into the area of being capable of becoming our worst nightmare because of what AI is doing.